Do nothing which is of no use. You must study the ways of your own shadow. Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distanced view of close things. To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead. The true science of martial arts means practicing them in such a way that they will be useful at any time, and to teach them in such a way that they will be useful in all things. It may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first. The way of the warrior is the resolute acceptance of death. 1,000 days of training to develop, 10,000 days of training to polish. The mind must always be in the state of flowing, for when it stops anywhere that means the flow is interrupted, and it is this interruption that is injurious to the well-being of the mind. The ultimate aim of martial arts is not having to use them. Perception is strong and sight weak. In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distanced view of close things. The important thing in strategy is to suppress the enemy's useful actions but allow his useless actions. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. The spirit of the martial arts is the spirit of the warrior. The way of strategy is the way of nature. When you appreciate the power of nature, knowing the rhythm of any situation, you will be able to hit the enemy naturally and strike naturally. It is said that what is called the spirit of an age is something to which one cannot return. That this spirit gradually dissipates is due to the world's coming to an end. For this reason, although one would like to change today's world back to the spirit of 100 years or more ago, it cannot be done. Thus, it is important to make the best out of every generation. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. The important thing in strategy is not to suppress the enemy's strength, but to cut off his connections. When your spirit is not in the least clouded, when the clouds of bewilderment clear away, there is the true void. The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy, whatever the means. Whenever you parry, hit, spring, strike or touch the enemy's cutting sword, you must cut the enemy in the same movement. It is essential to attain this. If you think only of hitting, springing, striking or touching the enemy, you will not be able actually to cut him. It is essential to seek out enemy agents who have come to conduct espionage against you and to bribe them to serve you. Give them instructions and care for them. Thus, doubled agents are recruited and used. When you attain the way of strategy, there will not be one thing you cannot see. The important thing is to polish wisdom and the mind in great detail. When your opponent is hurrying recklessly, you must act contrarily and keep calm. You must not be influenced by the opponent. The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either of safety or of ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. It is difficult to know yourself if you do not know others. Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. Do not regret what you have done. You must cultivate your wisdom and spirit. When you are balanced and when you listen and attend to the needs of your body, mind, and spirit, your natural beauty comes out. The only reason a warrior is alive is to fight, and the only reason a warrior fights is to win. There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. The only thing we can try to do is to know ourselves and make the best of our own lives. It is difficult to understand the universe if you only study one planet. Perception is strong and sight is weak. To hold down a castle, you must employ the wisdom of both attack and defense. The important thing is to polish wisdom and the mind in great detail. The mind must always be in the state of flowing, for when it stops anywhere that means the flow is interrupted, and it is this interruption that is injurious to the well-being of the mind. When an enemy tries to persuade you of his honesty, it is just because he wants to deceive you. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When full, starve them. When settled, make them move. It is difficult to understand the universe if you only study one planet. It is important to understand that martial arts means practicing them in such a way that they will be useful at any time, and to teach them in such a way that they will be useful in all things. To become the enemy, see yourself as the enemy of the enemy. It is said that the warrior's is the twofold way of pen and sword, and he should have a taste for both ways. The mind of a man who knows only one way of strategy will be like a tall tree which has fallen down. In everything, no matter what it may be, uniformity is undesirable. Leaving something incomplete makes it interesting, and gives the feeling that there is room for growth. When you reach the point where you realize that everything you do is for the sake of others as well as yourself, you will understand Zen. There is timing in everything. Timing in strategy is essential because if you miss the timing, the strategy will go to pieces. In strategy, your spiritual bearing must not be any different from normal. Both in fighting and in everyday life, you should be determined though calm.